Hey everybody, how's it going? It's Twintuitive717. Thank you for choosing my video. I just want to say thank you for all of the likes, subscribes, comments, and just overall interaction on my channel so far. It's been really great hearing a lot of your stories, and I just really appreciate you taking the time to reach out. So thank you to all of you. I was just shuffling some of these oracle cards. I have the life purpose oracle cards from Doreen Virtue, and again, my favorite deck, the Sacred Rebels oracle deck by Alana Fairchild. And I had just laid the cards out, and I was sort of studying them, I guess, if you will, and seeing what I felt and what I was picking up on. And I just wanted to jump on and share the cards with you guys, because this was just sort of for me personally to tune into the divine masculine energy. And from the moment I got started studying the cards, I just figured I would start recording. So the first card I was looking at was the Sacred Fool here, and that's for me one of the cards on the journey, or on the twin flame journey, that it has so many meanings for me. So I'll just pick up the card and show you guys a little bit closer here. Okay, so I'll tell you guys the first thing I'm like immediately picking up on. Okay. Hope there's like, I can see it like a glare in the bottom there, but I hope that's not bugging you guys. So the first thing I felt was the woman holding the puppet. I felt like that was the masculine, and them really wanting to surrender to their divine feminine energies, because right now I think they feel like they know that's what's going to get them through this, is if they do surrender to the feminine energy that they're feeling, because they really can't fight the connection with their divine feminine anymore. But in order to communicate or connect with her, they know that they have to start giving up a lot of the conditioned ways that they're so used to thinking or believing in. And so I think that they're just getting used to the idea now here of playing a role, or having to play a role all this time and not really live in their truth. And so they themselves feel like, with the feminine energy coming in, it's making them connect more with their higher selves, because now the masculine is um, experiencing his feminine energy, so he's bringing balance, and so it's making him see himself, doing this. And I think for the feminine, she's already in this space. I mean, she's already experienced having to draw boundaries and take off the mask and be truthful about how she feels about her divine masculine, even with like her family and friends, or even if she's in a marriage. I think that she's had to be honest with her partner, because it's something that if you're really on a twin flame journey, you're not going to be able to, I feel, keep it secret for well, I mean, you're not going to be able to keep it secret in a way that is not going to make you uncomfortable. And I mean like physically ill and uncomfortable. So this is a big indicator that a lot of the masks, I feel, are coming off. Like, the masculines are being pushed to just be honest and truthful, especially with family and friends, because they're feeling like the resistance to being seen this way. Like, they don't want to be seen as like a puppet of society. They wanna be the one that's awakened to a lot of what's going on. And so I think they're feeling vulnerable right now. And maybe that's why they're not really reaching out or have gone into that hermit mode state. I think it's hard for them to really reach out at this time because there's no words, I guess, for the divine feminine. It's almost like they feel unworthy right now, and they have to feel this way because they have to get past the challenge of the self love and getting ourselves out of the water, right? We have to pull ourselves up when we're drowning because we're not victims, we're creators of our reality. And so they have to experience this feeling, unfortunately. But we all do. We all have our lessons. I know the divine feminines have been there many, many times in terms of growing their self love. And we still are. A lot of us often still are learning these lessons, but that's specifically what I get for the divine masculines right now. So they are learning how to balance both energies and be honest and truthful about the twin flame journey, no matter how crazy or weird it seems. And I feel like for a lot of the divine masculines, like their lives are so, in this specific way that introducing the idea of the twin flame journey or a soul connection is like totally bizarre. And they're really having to break free from a lot of the conditioning that has been placed upon them. So if any of this is resonating with you, I feel like it would be a nice idea to send your divine masculine some love. And if you feel any resistance to sending them love, try your best to work through that, feminines, because we are often their light and they're often ours in our times of darkness. And so if this connection, is resonating as a twin flame connection for you, then for me, that's how I always advise and try to guide twin flames to know, because it doesn't really matter what kind of situation you are in with your twin, where you are experiencing conflict or separation, the love you feel for each other never really goes away. So you're always still concerned for them overall. You love them unconditionally in that way. So just, asking that we do send them love right now in this moment. I feel confident in the masculines because I drew this card right after, kind of going between the decks, and they're on the right path with this feeling of opening up and wanting to share their truth. Like, I mean, if you look at the card here, we can see just the wings and the freedom and the rainbow going through. I'm not sure if with the clear you guys can see the rainbow here, but I'm getting taking a risk. They're praying. A lot of them are going back to God. And that's, I mean, I'm not talking about doing anything crazy in terms of getting all religious. I'm just talking about at nighttime, before bed, right before they fall asleep, like they're praying. And it's something that they find themselves saying that I never thought I would be doing this in regards to another person. And I feel like it's because they're wanting help from God or the universe to help heal things, to help heal the divine feminines, to help heal themselves, to help heal all of the things that are in the way of them being with their feminines. Because I think that they're wanting to come into the connection spiritually whole. And I feel like now they're feeling like they owe it to themselves, really, to live life authentically, because then they get rid of all of that resistance and anxiety and fear. So now they're really starting to step out and stand up to a lot of people. I feel like a lot of relationships and friendships and, like family ties are really breaking down because the masculines are having to draw boundaries. And drawing these boundaries are simply because they want to be with the divine feminine, and anyone who has any opposing views to that is really kind of getting the sword from the divine masculine. And he's really relying on his intuition, what's already with him, what he already knows about his connection with his divine feminine. And he's ready to let that go and just have it be free and give it up to the universe, because that's what he's getting when he's praying. I feel like he's getting signs from God to just relax and let it all go, because God's telling him, I'm here for you. I will protect you. I will keep you safe. And so he is hanging on to a lot of the great memories right now. Although he may be in silence, I strongly feel him just connecting with God in regards to this. And to me, that's an amazing sign of just someone being so in love that they're willing to surrender that. It ties in with having to defend it to the end, because by surrendering is him defending this to the end. And I think that a lot of feminines can feel this energy, which is why, even though you're in separation right now, you're now having to work through the same codependent energy stuff. But this time it's different. This time it's like that bounce back. It's like you experience the pain of them being distant or them doing something to trigger the abandonment feeling within you, but you're getting past it a lot faster. And I think that's your self helping you to defend the connection also until the end, because there is nothing really getting in the way of the divine feminine releasing the connection. You know, I think she's always in a positive space, even if it's letting go or releasing the connection for her intuitively, or twintuitively, I should say. She always is holding a space for the connection. And I think that's what they both feel from each other telepathically all the time, which is what ends up pushing them. For life purpose, I mean, I got that's the speaker. Like everything's just kind of tying into speaking truth, speaking up. I feel like maybe some of your masculines, even if they're not telling people about the connection, they've got like an anonymous page on Instagram that nobody knows about, where they express poetry about you or writing, or they write songs about you in like a journal and stash the journal in a place that no one can see it, or just something that they can do to express the crazy feelings that they're having about this journey. Just like a lot of us are out here expressing what we feel and think through using these cards, or other means of expressing ourselves spiritually and creatively. The masculines are feeling it too, and I think a lot of you would be surprised by how they feel and how they express themselves. So I don't know who that's going to resonate for, but I feel like if you were to see his work regarding his love for you, feminine, it would bring you to tears. And maybe you will see it someday. I think it's so amazing. Like you can even see this angel too, like all of the emotion that he has when he's expressing it, like like he really can't believe that she makes him do this also. The next one I have here, these two cards I keep getting, and this one I feel is like for both twins to just trust what's going on right now. Like there's so many signs I think that the masculines are showing. It says here, new birth guarded vigilantly, and I've got my notes here, which is like rest and take a vacation and ground yourself in nature. I think for me, the reason I keep getting this is because the masculine is surrendering, and I feel like the feminine should not worry at this time, even if there is separation. And I know that there are so many of us in most cases, most of us or all of us, because we're a community. I feel like the feminines are used to getting there. They've gotten to that place of just surrendering, but the sort of aches of missing your twin or wondering if they're still thinking about you is always still going to be on mind. And if you look, it's like the masculine's always sending you messages, feminine, even while she's taking her rest. The butterflies there always looking over. And she knows it because she's sort of like slightly touching him, like, I know you're there. Thank you. And so it's a clear sign to have faith and get some rest and come back rejuvenated. Step away from any of the feelings that you may be having that are toxic towards you being in conflict right now with your counterpart, or making you have resistance towards each other. And then give yourself some time alone, and then come back to the connection and see how you feel. Shock of the new, I feel like this for the masculines. I mean, even though they're going through a lot right now, there's a lot of beautiful feelings they're feeling towards this right now. And I think they're just in a space of feeling like, can this be real? And it's new for them to express themselves in this way because they're not used to it. A lot of them are very, very, or have been very conditioned, in that 3D way that lets men know that they can express themselves in this way. And the minute they start expressing themselves in this way, it scares them because then they start worrying about whether or not it's okay. But our masculines are so divine that for them it's just sort of shock of, wow, am I really experiencing all of this? Am I really this lucky? Because the divine masculine is not scared of criticism from anyone. I think that's something that they're just here to overcome, and I think all of them will. So if any of you are in situations where you're worried that your masculines might never come out and speak the truth to their family, or no, they're built here. They're built to do this, to take on that challenge. The masculines. It's just shocking them right now, but they're still very, very, very much intrigued by what's going on. The feminine is way too beautiful for anybody to tamper with their mission to devour her. He's got his eye on her. I want to finish off this reading with the support card. And I think that that's perfect. Your life purpose fully supports you. I always say on my channel that the twin flame journey is something that you must choose willingly, because if you choose it, then there are ups and downs that you will experience, but at the same time, you will get through it because you were sent here with protection, to go on this journey. So even in times of despair, when you really think that you're not going to make it, there's people like me out here who says that you can and you will, because we're in the same boat and we're here to support each other no matter what. So, you really are protected. I love this, these wings, over this person here. And I love the pink because it's, you're protected and loved. And there's no wrong or right on this journey because your heart is not wrong in any way. Every decision you make is intuitively guided and supported.